Do you want to create more Instagram Reels but get stuck on what to post? I hear you. That's why I'm excited to share our new free resource, the Reels Prompt Playbook for ChatGPT. This playbook includes 20 ready-to-use AI prompts for Reels, hooks, and captions, and makes it super easy to create trendy content that grabs attention without spending endless hours scrolling Instagram for inspiration. Whether you want to share behind the scenes, offer quick tips, or tap into the latest trends, the Reels Prompt Playbook has you covered. Download your free Reels Prompt Playbook at DIY.ai/Reels. And the best part, these ChatGPT prompts are designed to work for entrepreneurs in any industry. Plus, you can pair these prompts with any trending audio or any video that you find on your phone. Basically, they're super easy, super quick, and will keep your content super authentic while saving you loads of time and headache. Grab your free playbook now at DIY.ai/Reels and start showing up on Instagram consistently today. When I was just starting to use these tools, I put a sticky note like next to my computer screen, right? And I was like, can ChatGPT help you with this? And then every day when I was just working along and I hit a pressure point where it's like, I hit writer's block. I'm typing up a caption. I'm like, I don't know how to finish this thing now. I look over to my sticky notes. Can ChatGPT help you with this? Yeah, it can. Great. Another example is one of my biggest annoyances in my life is having to try to go to a tech forum for any kind of troubleshooting. And so anytime I run up into a tech issue on my website or my email list, I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll be like, is this possible? Can I add a countdown timer to my website, or can I schedule my Gmail out? I'll go to ChatGPT and have it troubleshoot the tech for me. And that has saved my time and just my soul by not having to go to a tech forum and find my answer that I'm looking for. Welcome to Authentic AI for Entrepreneurs, the podcast that shows you how to leverage the power of AI technology without wasting your time or selling your soul. Let's embrace making AI work for you. Hey, my human friend, and welcome to the Authentic AI podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I am super excited to be doing things a little bit differently this week. We actually have 2 episodes, a 2-parter that I am sharing this week, and it is a replay of a live training that I was invited to do for a membership community just a couple weeks ago. In this live training, I shared the basics of AI tools and how you can start using them, dipping your toes into this world in your business. And then in part 2 of this training, I really deep dove into how we can use AI tools for ideal customer research, which is super cool, right? So this live training is a 2-parter. Part 1, which you're listening to right now, is really focused on the basics of AI tools. So if you are a newbie to all of this stuff in this world, then this episode is for you, because I share tips for how you can overcome the AI scaries, the golden rules of using tools like ChatGPT, plus how you can use AI tools to amplify your brand and not replace it. But if you are a longtime listener, if you've been using AI tools for a while, I'll be honest, this episode probably isn't for you. So I do encourage you to go ahead and hop over to the 2nd episode that we shared this week. It's just the next in the lineup, and it is really deep diving into how you can use ChatGPT for ideal customer research to really get into the heads of your ideal customers so that you can improve your messaging and make the content creation process easier. And that episode is super actionable, and you can definitely hit the ground running for that one. But if you are a newbie to AI tools, hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This episode will really help you start to feel more comfortable using these tools in your business and give you actionable tips and things that you need to know when you're using these tools so that you can use them authentically without sacrificing your brand's values. So if you do enjoy this episode, don't forget to share it with a business buddy who could also use to listen to it. And hey, while you're at it, why not leave us 5 stars or a friendly review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, because it really does help us to continue growing our Authentic AI community. All right, are you ready to learn the basics of AI tools? Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, guys, I'm so excited to share with you about AI tools. And today we will be talking about how you can use AI to better understand and attract your ideal clients. Today's training is going to be covering overcoming the AI scaries. If anyone is a little bit hesitant about AI tools, no worries. I was too. And I have some mindset shifts and different things we can do to overcome the scaries when it comes to using AI tools. We'll also talk about getting started with ChatGPT, amplifying your brand with AI instead of replacing it. And then, like I said, using AI to do ideal client research and get into the heads of your ideal clients so that you can pitch yourselves better to those perfect clients who you want to work with. So I just wanted to start by quickly introducing myself. Hello, I'm Kinsey. I've been an entrepreneur for 5+ years now, which is really crazy to me. I'm the host of 2 podcasts, the Feel Good Social podcast and the Authentic AI podcast. I kind of started out with really focusing on authentic branding and genuine marketing for down-to-earth entrepreneurs. But about a year ago, I created our sister brand, Authentic AI. And now we really just believe in making AI work for you in a way that aligns with you. So today I'm going to be talking a lot about the human first approach to AI tools and how you can make sure that you're using them to save time and be more productive without sacrificing your authenticity or values. Because that's one of those things that's really important to me. And that's honestly the reason I started Authentic AI in the first place. And then my journey with AI, I always like to share this with people because it wasn't exactly what you think, right? I wasn't necessarily like a big techie person before starting Authentic AI. I'm just like, I really believe in authenticity and realness. And I'll be honest, when I first heard about AI tools coming into the entrepreneurial space about a year ago now, I was a total curmudgeon about it. I always like to include this Dennis the Menace meme of Mr. Wilson, like the grumpy neighbor, because I feel like I'm like shaking the AI's fence, the neighbor's fence, being like, aren't these tools going to make the internet faker than it already is? What's it going to do to our critical thinking skills, our creativity? Are robots going to take over the world, right? Like all of those thoughts ran through my head when I first heard about AI tools. And then I was on a long 2-hour drive and I had one of those long drive epiphanies. The reason I was so grumpy about AI is because it's here and I'm afraid of what this is going to mean for our culture and our society. And the best thing I could do is instead of just saying like, no, ew, AI tools suck. Instead, I realized I should probably turn toward them, get curious about them and start learning about how can we make AI work for us in a way that feels authentic and good to us. And so that's where I started just diving into AI tools and really dipping my toes into the world. I just started literally using a lot of different AI tools. I just listened to podcasts. I went down blog rabbit holes. I got my hands dirty using these tools. And slowly but surely, actually pretty quickly, let's be honest, my eyes were open to the possibilities that AI tools can really provide for us. And also I realized that me being worried about the authenticity and the quality of content and all that stuff, yes, it is a real concern. But there are definitely ways that we can use these tools without sacrificing our authenticity in a way that really does work for us without getting all icky with it and turning into a bro brand, which I'm not into. So if you've been feeling like you're behind, if you feel like you're not techie enough, or if you're worried about AI just being for bro brands and not for authentic brands or like women-owned businesses, I'm here to tell you that you're good because there are ways that we can use these tools. You're not behind, but they're easier than they seem. And just starting to dip your toes into using AI tools now is a great starting point. It means that you're way far ahead of a lot of people out there. So let's go ahead and talk about some of these AI scaries. I don't know if anyone is a little bit hesitant when it comes to using these tools, but like I said, I have come up myself against all of these hesitations. All of those like fear thoughts ran through my head when I first started hearing about these tools. And I came up with some reframes to help me get over this so that I can start using AI tools and making them work for me, right? So if you're worried that AI will make your brand less human or authentic, that's a real concern. There's definitely a lot of people out there that are just using AI tools for copywriting and just copy pasting the exact same copy into their emails, not really reading through through it. They're more focused on quantity over quality when it comes to their content. And it's a real concern, but just know that you are the gatekeeper of your brand and you are going to be able to use these tools in a way that works for you, in a way that aligns with you. And you're also going to make sure that you're running everything that AI does for you through the filter of your brand, right? So the things we'll be talking about today, I'm going to be sharing how you can train your AI assistants to understand your brand better. And then also always just remember on the back end to have that human touch before you send your content out into the world and just make sure that it aligns with your brand. And you won't be losing your authenticity, but you will be saving some time down the road. If you're worried about AI hindering our creativity or critical thinking skills, I'll be honest, that was my first concern. When I heard about AI tools, I was like, are we going to turn into mindless sheep? But I will say that when I started using these tools, I really understood more so how these tools can actually expand and amplify our creativity and also put our critical thinking skills to practice on a daily basis. So me working with my AI assistant, ChatGPT, every day, as an Enneagram 7, oh man, I have shiny object syndrome like no other. I'm just like working away. All of a sudden, an idea pops into my head. It happened to me today, guys. I literally spent like half the day working on some new idea I just thought up today, right? And the first thing I do now that I use AI tools is take these thoughts to ChatGPT and use it as a sounding board and ask it questions, ask it to help me outline my thoughts. I brain dump into these tools and really my creativity is expanded and I'm able to work more quickly and blast through things like writer's block more quickly than I ever have before. And it's actually really cool how it's been able to help me expand my creativity in that way. And then also my critical thinking skills. Let me just tell you, I am every day looking at the responses ChatGPT is throwing my way and being like, does this make sense for my brand? What do I think about this? Does this fit with us? And I actually think that AI is making me think more critically every day too, which is actually kind of nice as a trait as an entrepreneur and in business. Also, if you're afraid of the tech and the overwhelm and you're feeling like AI tools are just one more thing that you have to learn for your business, believe me, I get it. I feel that way with freaking Instagram every day. They change something on the platform. Like, no, Instagram, can't you just stay the same for like 1 week? And so I get it for sure. But I will say that AI is here. These tools are really helpful. Honestly, I broke down the time that I save every week, and this is a realistic number because I'm not one of those tech bro AI people who's going to tell you ChatGPT can create 30 days of content in 30 seconds or whatever. I'm not one of those people. I'm like, that's not realistic, right? But I did break down the time that I save personally in all of my tasks in my business every day, week, and month. And it added up to an average of 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week, and 70 hours a month using AI tools in my business and not even just like getting them to do everything for me all the time, but making the workflows that I'm already doing more productive and faster. And it's been really crazy the amount that I've been able to do for my 2 sister brands that would have taken me way longer in the past to just do for my one brand, Feel Good Social, right? So while AI tools are just one more thing that you need to learn, they really can save you so much time. They can help you do the tasks that you hate doing in your business. They also are kind of more worth it to learn than a lot of the other tools that you're just like, ugh, I have to learn this again. They really are helpful. They're cheap and they're pretty easy. And then our robot's going to take over the world. This is my Terminator Matrix fears that we all grew up with and stuff. And here's the thing, AI can be a little scary. This is progressing really quickly for our society. But I will say that the more you can get curious about it and start being involved in conversations now, start using it now, spread the word to your family and friends, the more we'll be able to shape the AI future we want to see. I always like to remind myself of that is, yeah, there are some fears about what is this going to look like for our future, for our kids, for our society, but
have you been wanting to add AI tools to your business, but you're feeling overwhelmed by all the options? I feel you. There are so many AI tools out there, it's hard to know which ones work well and which ones will work for you. That's why I'm excited to introduce our new free resource, the Authentic AI Tech Toolkit. This is our thoughtfully curated library of tried and tested AI tools that are specifically recommended for solopreneurs like you. From everyday business tasks like organizing and automating to content creation, video editing, copywriting, and more, our Authentic AI Tech Toolkit is dishing up recommendations for tools that our community has been loving to use in their business and lives. Gain access for free right now at diywith.ai/toolkit. And go find those AI tools that will be super helpful for you and your business. Ready to find AI tools that are perfect for you and start making your tasks and to-dos a little easier? Simply head to diywith.ai/toolkit to sign up for free right now.
Me just getting curious about it right now and be able to spread the word about it is the most helpful thing I can do when it comes to that stuff. So my favorite AI tool, especially like the large language models is what they're called, which is what Gemini is, it's what Claude is, and it's what ChatGPT is. And my favorite tool is ChatGPT because it is free. It's really easy. It's one of the OG tools, and it's just the tool that I chose to use all the time. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But I do want to say that there are other tools out there. You know, we mentioned Gemini, we mentioned Claude, and a lot of the things that I teach in today's training can be applied to these other tools as well. But if you're looking to just dip your toes in and just get started, ChatGPT is a really great place to start. You can just go to chatgpt.com. It's basically just a chat bot that you have a conversation with back and forth, right? It looks like the old AOL Messenger windows when you open up your computer and you're literally just typing like you would type a message, a text message to a friend. And you just have a conversation with these tools, and it can pretty much help you with a lot of different things. The one thing that I like to recommend that you do if you're just starting out using these tools is just introduce yourself. And tell ChatGPT, hey, my name is this. This is what I do. How can you help me? And ask it how it can help you. It will have a lot of ideas, believe me. But what I want to encourage you to do, and this has been really helpful for me, is just reminding myself, keeping myself open to the possibility of using AI tools in my everyday in my business. So I even when I was just starting to use these tools, I put a sticky note next to my computer screen, right? And I was like, can ChatGPT help you with this? And then every day when I was just working along and I hit a pressure point where it's like, I hit writer's block. I'm typing up a caption. I'm like, I don't know how to finish this thing now. I look over to my sticky notes. Can ChatGPT help you with this? Yeah, it can. Great. Let me go to ChatGPT. Another example is, I love using it for this because one of my biggest annoyances in my life is having to try to go to a tech forum for any kind of troubleshooting when it comes to tech. And so I will now, anytime I run up into a tech issue on my website or my email list or whatever it is, I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll be like, is this possible? Can I add a countdown timer to my website, or can I schedule my Gmail email out for 2 weeks from now or something like that? I'll go to ChatGPT and ask it these questions and have it troubleshoot the tech for me. And that has saved my time and just my soul by not having to go to a tech forum and find my answer that I'm looking for. The next thing is the golden rules of ChatGPT. The first one is that ChatGPT and AI tools like ChatGPT are not always correct. They're not always factual, firstly. They don't know everything, and they will be very confident in their answers to you, thinking that they do know everything. So if ChatGPT ever spits out a fact to you, or I've had it make up quotes, I've had it make up facts and stories and sound very confident, thinking that they're real life stuff, and they aren't, right? So anytime that ChatGPT spits out a fact or anything like that, just make sure that you're fact checking it. And then also remember that ChatGPT is not always going to give you the right answers for your brand. So that is why you always need to be using your critical thinking skills and really running the stuff that ChatGPT is throwing your way through the filter of, does this make sense for my brand? How do I feel about this? What's my opinion here? Is this actually the tips that I would share with my audience? Is this actually what I would say to my clients? Also, getting really specific with ChatGPT is super, super helpful. Just being super, super specific with what you want from it and what you're asking for and how you want it to respond to you is really helpful for getting better results that aren't just generic, right? And then iterating basically just means going back and forth with ChatGPT in a conversation, asking it questions, asking it to refine and tweak and get more specific or expand this idea or whatever it is. That is how you're going to get the best responses as well. So let's talk about amplifying your brand with AI instead of replacing it, because as you might have guessed, authentic AI, I really care about this stuff. And it's one of the things that irks me the most about the AI community and just AI tools in general is when people are, like we said before, just copy pasting responses straight from AI and unlock the power of, unleash, crucial. All of these things are just total telltale signs of like written by AI. And there's really easy ways that we could fix this and have AI amplify your brand instead of turning your brand into a robot, right? So the first thing we can do is train ChatGPT on your brand persona. And if anyone wants to get into this more in detail later or down the road, I would love to geek out with you about this. I have several podcast episodes about this for sure. But basically, how you train AI on your brand persona is telling it all the information that it needs to know about your brand. So tell it who you are, tell it your mission, your vision, your values, what you do, tell it who you're speaking to, tell it your ideal customers, what do they value, what are their pain points, their desires, all that stuff, which we're actually going to get into in this training. And then also train it on your brand voice as well, especially if you have it write copy for you. You can train it in two different ways. Firstly, you can tell it how you want it to write copy for you. So describe the tone of voice that you want it to use, the writing style, the formatting, if you want it to use emojis or not use emojis, like that sort of stuff is all stuff you can tell ChatGPT to get it to write copy that sounds a little bit closer to how you would actually write it. Another favorite way to train ChatGPT on your brand voice is to actually share pieces of copy, examples of copy that you've already written, and have it analyze like a social media caption that you've written or an email that you've written. Have it analyze that copy for your brand voice. Then it will come up with a description that then you can use to have it replicate your brand voice in the future. But that is so helpful for getting better responses that are more reflective of you, more authentic to you, and don't just sound super generic and robotic and like everyone else's content on the internet. Another way you can have ChatGPT amplify your brand and not replace it is by bringing your own ideas, thoughts, and opinions to this tool instead of allowing it to do all the thinking for you. A lot of people come to AI, come to ChatGPT, and they're like, write me a social media caption, come up with blog post ideas. And that's okay. That can be done. But if you come to ChatGPT and you tell it, please write me a blog post about AI. My view is making AI work for you, not the other way around, using a human first approach, bringing your ideas to it. If I tell it exactly what I want, and then I also tell it my own thoughts and opinions and expertise on the subject, and then get it to write me a blog post, then it will give me exactly what I want and not just come up with the most generic thing on the internet. Also, always revise your content to reflect your brand. A lot of people get frustrated when they use AI tools, especially when it's writing copy for them and they think, write me a social media caption about this. And ChatGPT writes them a social media caption. And they're like, ugh, this is way too formal. Make it more casual. ChatGPT rewrites the caption and then it's overly cheesy. And they're like, ugh, make it whatever. And they go back and forth with ChatGPT, getting ChatGPT to revise it for them. And they just get super frustrated. They're like, I think I could have just done this faster if I just done it myself without this tool, right? Firstly, I have done that myself. And also I hear from so many people. So if that's you, you're not alone for sure. But something that has been really helpful for me is remembering that I can revise the copy that ChatGPT throws my way myself. Like, you don't have to expect just one perfect answer from ChatGPT. You can take the piece of copy that's almost there, but not quite there, and change it up to make it reflect your brand. And you'll still save a bunch of time doing it that way because ChatGPT will get you 70% there. And then you can finish it, polish it up, make sure it reflects your brand. And that is so, so helpful. I actually am a word nerd myself. I was an opinions editor editor at our college newspaper. I've just loved writing my entire life. And so I'm really, really picky when it comes to my copy, honestly, but it takes me forever to write. I'm a slow writer because I agonize over every stinking word. But what I have found is that ChatGPT has taken me from writing captions in an hour to writing captions in 15 minutes because I'm working with this tool in that way. Another thing I always like to point out too is ChatGPT can help you revise its own stuff, but you don't have to say, rewrite this entire social media caption for me. Often with the copy that ChatGPT writes for us, it's one line or like one paragraph that we hate. So I'll usually like pick out one line and say, brainstorm more ways to say this, and then mix and match and do the editing myself. And that's really helpful. And then also always remember that you can use AI for more than just copywriting. I've already mentioned a couple: tech troubleshooting. I get it to organize my meeting notes. I get it to brainstorm content ideas for me, and then I'll take those ideas and run with them. I'll have it just create the Reels hooks for me because I just can't ever think of a good catchy Reels hook. There's lots of different things that ChatGPT can do for you that's not just copywriting, ideation, ideal client research, like we're going to talk about later in this presentation. So just remember that it's not just for writing copy. Well, there you have it, my friend. That was the end of part 1 of the live training replay where we were discussing the basics of AI tools. If you're feeling revved up, if you're excited to hit the ground running, if you want to continue listening to another episode, go ahead and hop over to the next episode in the lineup. It is part 2 of this live training replay. And in this episode, I will really be deep diving into how you can use tools like ChatGPT for ideal customer research and really get into the heads of your ideal customers so that you can improve your messaging and make the content creation process easier. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. If you do have any questions, I would love to connect with you on Instagram. I am at authentic AI for entrepreneurs. Send me a message. Let me know that you came from the show, and I will be so excited to connect with you and follow you back over there. All right. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time I catch you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Authentic AI for Entrepreneurs, my friend. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your shows.